So you got your real estate license. Now what? How are you going to survive your first year? Because let me tell you, the real estate exam, I'm in Georgia, the real estate exam, I passed it first time. I was so excited, but actually working as a realtor, so lost, didn't know what was going on. You really learn everything about being a realtor when you get out there and actually do it. That's when you're really going to learn everything. You're going to be so lost, not know what's going on, what to do. I mean, you might remember a couple things, don't get me wrong, from your studies becoming a realtor, but the bulk of it, you're going to learn as you go, and you're not going to learn it overnight. You're not going to learn it in the first 6 months. Something new will hit you almost every day. Every day you're going to learn something new. So first, like going into real estate, you got to get your mind right. You got to understand that this isn't your Monday through Friday. You're on the work schedule. You got to go clock in. And this is what my job duties are. No, now you work for yourself. You wear all the hats, and you have to show up. You have to make a schedule, and you have to consistently work at this every single day. You can't just take 2-3 days off, lay on the couch and expect to make money, or just lay on the couch and be like, well, why am I not getting any clients? I'm not getting any leads. You literally have to mold your brand, get your name out there. You have to meet people. You meet people every single day. Coffee shops, talk about real estate. You walk into the grocery store, talk about real estate. You know, you have to get out there and meet people. You have to meet lenders. You have to meet title companies. You just have to meet everybody. You need everybody in your back pocket. You're going to want to start looking for good inspectors and, you know, maybe some handymen. Like, you are going to meet so many people. I have met so many people already. So it's been less than a year for me as a realtor, as I already said. I became a realtor at the end of last year. And another important piece, which I'm going to talk about next, is finding the right broker and mentor. So I guess I kind of made a mistake. When I got my license, I went with a broker, somebody I personally knew. Great person. Such a great person. And I went to this person's brokerage, and it was just a smaller brokerage. So there wasn't a lot of resources for me. There wasn't, you know, didn't have an assigned mentor, not a lot of training. I'm not saying I didn't get any, you know, I'm not knocking this brokerage at all. But there's not enough for a new agent. I needed a lot of assistance, a lot of support, because I'm fresh, new. I don't know anything. I'm just a little baby realtor over here. So, I stuck with that for a little while. I wasn't getting anywhere. I felt lost. I had one listing with a family member. So that was my only listing that I had. I was working my sphere. We had our CRM program, KV Core, which is excellent, by the way. We were using that at this brokerage, and I'm working it. I'm paying for some ads. I'm doing my YouTube videos, my Facebook videos. You got to get out there on social media too, by the way. We'll talk about that later. But I was doing everything as much as I could that I knew to do. And nothing was happening. I was getting frustrated. I was losing my motivation, and I was like, what am I doing? Well, I'm just going to go back and work at a hospital. Like, I got to pay my bills. What am I going to do? So my mistake is I did not research my brokerages. I didn't research them. Everybody's heard of Keller Williams. They're everywhere. Mark Spain, everywhere. What's the other one? Coldwell Bank. Is it Coldwell Banker? Yeah. Anyways, they're everywhere. All the big brokerages that you've heard of, they're everywhere. You know, you just know them. And, you know, my thought going in was, oh, I don't want to go there. I feel like those are like overpopulated with realtors. But But at the end of the day, I've learned, well, that doesn't matter how many realtors are there, because it's competition regardless of what brokerage you're working with. There's so many realtors. You're competing against basically every realtor. You know, who's going to get those leads first? And that's just what it is. At the end of the day, you are competing against other realtors. There are so many realtors out there. It is way oversaturated. So you have to stick out. You have to get your name out there. So what I did was started getting on YouTube, trying to find a different brokerage, and I came across EXP. I personally had never heard of EXP, so I started digging in, doing some more research, and it's actually one of the top up-and-coming brokerages, and they have so many listings. I was like, what? I've never even heard of them. I mean, they're up there in the top. So I was like, okay, let me do some more research. So I'm digging and digging and digging, watching YouTube and learning about it, and everything I was hearing about it was like, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. It's a virtual brokerage, so it's not brick and mortar. There is an online office. They call it The World. It's kind of like little sim characters if you played the game Sims. So you make your own little character. You go in. Literally, if I want to talk to a broker, I can walk into the broker room and somebody, a little character, literally is like, hey, Karen, how can we help you? It's like being literally at a brokerage, walking into work. It's so cool. There are so many resources. So many resources. At first, it was almost overwhelming. I'm like, oh my God. I went from no resources to how am I going to dig through all these resources? But I would rather have way more resources. And once you start getting going, you kind of learn like where you need to go, what you really need. Is fantastic. They have when you first come into EXP, you go through a training program, which is great for new agents such as myself. I needed that. You sign on with a sponsor, so you have that one person you can always, whoever talks you into basically coming into EXP, that's your sponsor, just to kind of give you clarification what the sponsor is. But that person kind of helps you too, like, you know, who do I turn this paperwork in, or where can I go in the world to find out this information? You have that person in your corner. They're in the corner of your ring. So it's one person. You one go-to person. You already have somebody. But once you start the program and start doing your learning, they assign you to a mentor too. So now you have another person. So you're never alone. It's great. They try to find you a mentor that's near your area. That way y'all could potentially meet up in person. And, you know, maybe you could do an open house with your mentor to see what that's like, or y'all can meet up and they can go over some paperwork with you, how to do listings and whatever. Y'all can meet on Zoom. Like me and my mentor, we've done Zoom, we do phone calls, we do text. I mean, she's amazing. I have such a great mentor, and she's been helping me through all these transactions that I've been having, because clueless over here. Well, not so much anymore. I've learned so much. You know, but just the contracts in themselves, there's so many questions, which, side note, read your contracts. Read them. Just study them. You really need to know your contracts well. Take a contracts course too, if you haven't already, because contracts is like one of the biggest things that we put our hands on, and it's one of the most important things that we put our hands on. We don't want to mess up a contract. So that was my little side note. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, having a mentor and a sponsor in your pocket has been life-changing for me. It's been everything. And honestly, that is how I'm surviving my first year as a realtor, is finally having some really good help and support. And if it's something they don't know, they're like, hop into EXP World. You can ask this person, you can find them there. Or we also use Workplace, which is the makers of Facebook made it, so it looks very similar if you haven't heard of it. So you get on there and you're in all these groups, hundreds, just thousands of agents. You can just ask a question. You can get into your state group, which I'm in Georgia, so I'm in the Georgia group. So if I have a question that maybe my mentor, my sponsor doesn't know, hop in there. Or you may find referrals in there. They have referral groups. I mean, And they even have a little chat function too, like the IM Messenger for Facebook. They have the same thing for Workplace. So if you specifically want to reach out to a certain person through Messenger, send them a message. I mean, you literally have so many people at your fingertips. There's lenders in there. I mean, there's just so many. I just can't say enough about how EXP has really changed my thinking and my business and everything about like being a real estate agent in my first year. Other than picking the right brokerage and having good support and having somebody in your ring, you also need to start learning about the market in your area. Learn everything you can about the market, like the inventory, what's available, what things are selling for. Just look at it every day. Go into your MLS, look at the hot sheets, see what things are going for, what's available, how long it's been on the market. Because somebody might bump into you and be like, hey, how's so-and-so city doing? Like, I was thinking about selling my house, but I'm just curious, like, how's the market doing in that area? You need to be knowledgeable in what you do. When somebody asks a question, you need to know. Like, you need to know, like, how to answer that question. You don't want to be fumbling around looking through your phone. Of course, you're not going to know everything, but if you're looking at it every day, you are going to have a good idea of, like what's going in the market, enough to answer their questions at least and not look like a complete idiot. Another thing you can do is kind of narrow down, find a niche, because the market is oversaturated with agents. If you kind of find a little specialty area to kind of narrow it down some, that can also help you into standing out, getting those clients. And you want to set goals. That's another like very important thing in real estate to keep your business alive is set goals. Set SMART goals. They got to be measurable. You are not, let me say you are not, I can't say not because you might, but I doubt it. It's not impossible, but you're probably not going to roll up into real estate and make 6 figures your first year. Nope. On average, most realtors make $50K a year. That's average. We don't want to be average though. No. We want to be up here. I want to make 6 figures. Am I going to make 6 figures in my first year? Nope. Am I mad about it? Not really, because I'm learning. I know next year is going to be better. I'm taking this year to learn, and I have my goals set for next year. They're measurable. I know I can reach them. They're not outrageous. I have specific goals. I have deadlines I want to meet. I'm just setting myself up for my future. So don't go into real estate thinking, I'm going to land all these deals. I'm going to make $100,000. Don't do that. You're going to be disappointed. And honestly, it may even result in you hopping out of real estate. So don't set goals that are really hard to reach like that, especially when you're a first year agent. Be realistic. Seriously, be realistic. So just for reference, so I started as an agent in November of last year. And of course, my first brokerage, like I was saying, I didn't have a lot of support. So I wasn't learning a lot. I was just trying to get my feet wet and trying to figure out how to get my name out there. And now that I'm with EXP, I've been here for several months. I have done 3 deals. 3. Working on my 4th. But just to kind of give you an idea of how your first year will go, and how realistic it can be. You could be more by now. You could be. Everybody's different. Everybody, figures out different things or gets their name out there. Maybe you have a bigger sphere. And that's the people friends, family, people you work with. You want to work all them people. You want to be right there in the front of their brain when they even think about buying a house, and social media makes that so easy. So we'll just hop into that. So building your brand. You don't want to just talk about your brokerage. Sure, it's great to give your brokerage props, and like I do all the time. I would love for everybody to work with EXP, but just because I've had a really good experience. But you have to build your brand too. you know, you got to build yourself. You got to be on social media. You got to be on all the platforms, and you just can't not be consistent either. You have to be consistent. If you're going to post every day, post every day. Don't just post on Facebook. You need to post on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok's a big one now, YouTube, make videos, educate the people that are watching, educate home buyers, sellers, whatever, you know, you might want to pick a little, a niche of what do you want to do? What is your goal? And, you know, pick something that you can be consistent with, something that you can pump out a lot of content, you know, because that's how you're going to get more clients. You know, believe it or not, we're all about social media nowadays. So you're going to get a lot of results for social media, just building your brand, getting your face out there, your face, your knowledge, teaching people what you know about their market, about buying a home, selling a home, whatever you want to, you know, teach about, you know, getting your name out there. It shows that you're, you know, hey, that agent knows what she's talking about. I want to work with her. Man, I want that agent to sell my house. Look at her. She just posted she sold that house in 1 week. That house was under contract in 1 week. You got to get it out there. Just post. You get better as you go. You do. At first, I'm like, man, I'm so slow at trying to edit these videos and going around doing neighborhood videos. And, you know, it's just, you do get better at it. And, you know, I'm still trying to improve. I'm trying to post more. I'm working on it. Another thing is, I guess I've already said this, but prospect every single day. Be out there looking of, you know, who can you talk to, who can you put into your sphere. You know, you have to every day. Again, you know, make a plan, make a calendar if you're somebody that needs that schedule to stick to it. That's my biggest advice is you have to be consistent. You do. Yeah, I want to be lazy some days too, but you have to be consistent. I think that's it. I'm going to stop preaching to y'all, but I hope this was helpful. And for all of you new agents out there, you know, stick with it. Don't give up. It can be rough. It can be hard. Been there, done that. I think in the beginning, I spent more money than I made. You know, you got to have advertising. You know, that's another thing, budget. Put a budget out there. You don't want to spend too much in the beginning. You're just going to get burnt out spending all this money, but you got to make like your for sale signs that cost money, your business cards that cost money. You know, if you do any advertising on Facebook or Google, whatever, that costs money. So just make a budget and don't get defeated if things aren't going your way. Just keep trucking, keep learning, stick in there. Like, you will get it, but your first year it's gonna be rough. That's normal. But I can just tell you that, you know, I was gonna give up my first few months in, but now where I'm at now, I can see so many good things in my future. So I'm glad I stuck with it. But I did have that little hiccup in the road, that little speed bump where I was like, man, I'm done. But hang in there. You'll get it. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, like me, follow me for more tips. And I'll see you guys soon.